Welcome back to part 2 of Smart Goal Planning for your small business. If you missed part 1, be sure to go back and watch it. The link should be in the description so you can go back and where we talk about yearly and quarterly goal planning. So last time we talked about business foundation stuff, your company values, mission and vision statements. We recapped a previous year. We set some yearly and quarterly goals. And now we're going to break those goals down into monthly and weekly steps. And we're going to add in some checkpoints and rewards. So now we're into our monthly goal planning. We're breaking down our yearly and quarterly goals into monthly steps. You can also see we have our checkpoints and rewards. Our checkpoint is what makes our steps and our goals measurable. It's the M in SMART. We're specific and we're measurable. So if you're looking at your yearly and your quarterly goals, your yearly and your big 3 goals. So if one of those was to say update your workflows to 100%. So then we break that down into the quarterly goals and say you have 6 workflows total. And by the end of the year, you want to have those all done. But you know you can have those done probably by the end of the middle of the year. So by the end of the second quarter. It shouldn't take you the whole year to redo all 6 of those. So your Q1 goal numbers say you want to have 3 of them done, and your Q2 goal was to have the last 3 of them done. So when we break that down even more, we say we're going to do 1 a month, 1 in January, 1 February, 1 March, and your Q1 checkpoint is you have these 3 workflows redone. And so you just put in here, like I said, we have a fillable PDF that you can put all of this into, and you say in January, workflow 1 will be redone, in February, workflow 2, and in March, workflow 3. If one of your big goals was to have or be in a coaching program, you broke that down and you said, by the end of the first quarter, I want to be actively in a coaching program. Now, once you're in, they're probably going to have some goals and it's going to be broken down in some kind of structure. But you can say by the end of January, the end of the first quarter, I want to be actively in a coaching program. So when we break that down, we'll say in January, we're going to research coaching programs. We're going to look into all different kinds. What one is going to meet my needs, help me reach my goals? What person do I align with? Not just the one that has the flashy Facebook ad, but get to know them, talk to them, do a little interview call. They're interviewing you, but you need to interview them also and make sure that you guys are going to just click. That the way they approach things, it's going to work. You like how they explain things, all of that kind of stuff. So your January goal is research, and your February goal is to be actively signed up in that coaching program. You don't have to have anything in March for that specifically related to it. You're signed up, you're going. Now, they may be giving you some goals and some tasks and things to do. They're going to help you reach the rest of your goals, and you can come back and add those to March later if you need to. It's the great part about this. It's a fillable PDF. And when we break it down even further in a second, I'll show you how you can move things around really easily. So another goal of yours could be if it was say you want to have a specific amount of low ticket offers that you're running on autopilot. So you want to have 12 of those running by the end of the year. We break that down quarterly. That says, again, we want to have 3 of those done by each quarter so that at the end of the year, we have all 12 going. And so that means, again, 1 a month, okay? But maybe you're not sure which ones you're going to do. So we're going to spend January, maybe we're going to research some low ticket ideas. We're going to get on Pinterest. We're going to get on YouTube. We're going to see what people are searching for. What's an active thing? What are people liking that we can replicate with our own touch on it? Because just because somebody has something done already, it hasn't been done in your voice. And I get told this all the time because a lot of what I share isn't new. There's nothing new under the sun. Goal planning is done all the time in lots of different ways. But this is done with my voice, in my way, and hopefully it's resonating with you. If it is, I'd love a thumbs up. I'm sorry, that was super cheesy, but you know what I need. Then obviously once we get to the end of the quarter, we have our checkpoint. Did we reach any of those goals? So what's your measurable thing? Was it a dollar figure? Did you accomplish a goal? You say, I have these workflows up and running. They're 100%. I have social media going, whatever that is, and then give yourself a reward. Your first quarter is generally not spent making a ton of money. There's a lot of foundation going in and a lot of investment. So keep your reward realistic. You didn't make a ton of money. You spent a lot on that coaching program. You might be kind of broke. Okay. So make your rewards something realistic. And as you're breaking these things down, also look at just what your life looks like. Okay. When I'm doing this, I don't put a lot in December on my goals. Couple reasons. If I'm in December and I still have 20 things left that I have not achieved, I've probably dropped the ball someplace else earlier in the year. I should not be trying to cram it all into December. Also, December is generally very full. There's the holidays, we're doing parties, all sorts of things. I don't want to be spending my time doing something that is either really mind numbing for me or that I've got to spend all these hours a week doing that's not just making me some money. Now, if you're doing photo shoots or if you're working with clients and you still got that going, that's enough for December. Don't have revamping an entire workflow in December as your goal because it's not going to happen and you're just going to set yourself up for failure. One of my goals for December is always to have my next year's goal planning done. And so that's the main goal that I have in December. And that's about it as far as a goal to get ready for the next year. Now, your life could look different. Say summers are just non existent for actually doing the behind the scenes work for your business. You may be actually working with clients and doing those things, but setting up workflows and all of those types of things is just not going to happen for June, July, and August. So don't put as much in those months. It's very simple. You know what your second quarter goal is. Make April and May nice and heavy. Put the majority of it in there. Keep June light. Set yourself up for failure. Success. Set yourself up for success. And the same for July and August. If you know you want to be present with your kids, you're doing adventures, you're going camping, we're outside, you're not going to want to be sitting inside doing the work of your business. So don't put those as goals. Keep July light. Maybe August has a little bit more, and then September, we go hard and fast. And by the end of the third quarter, you've reached that goal. Is that all making sense? So I use ClickUp for breaking things down into more weekly goals and giving me some better achievable ways to see this in just a big picture way. I put all of the goals into the workbook and I actually have my workbook printed off. I just have it sent to the UPS store. They bind it. It's really nice because I do like to have a paper copy. But ClickUp is where everything in my life is. My calendars are in here, all of my to-do lists for my business, whether it's client stuff, social media, all of it is in ClickUp, plus my personal stuff, all my housekeeping, all of those like yearly housely maintenance things, all of that stuff, everything for me is in ClickUp. And so I need my goals to be in here too. The great part about it is you can move things around when life happens. So very simply, I have a list and I just call it 2025 goals. I just name it for the year and then I set up statuses for first, second, third, fourth quarter and yearly. And then obviously the complete. Within each of these, I have the month's goals and I just call it January goals. You can see nice and simple. I'm not complicating this. And the due date for that for January goals is January 31st. Not simple, not rocket science. And then I have my Q1 checkpoint and I have a checkpoint for all 4 quarters. Then within January, I take those goals and everything that I had in January, I make those subtasks. And I don't have them all due the end of the month. I break them out. And so again, it's in smaller pieces. And I say, okay, I'm going to spend, I know the first week of the month when I'm setting these up. So I'm looking at January, the first is on a Wednesday. I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot this week. Like the kids are still, so the kids aren't even back to school yet. They're still on, winter break. So I'm not going to be doing a whole lot. So don't set any goals for that week. Like don't do that to yourself. But kids go back to school. I'm going to do something easy this week because I'm just getting back into the groove of it. And more than likely, you're going to have a sick kid because that's just what happens. So your first week, we're going to spend it just researching a coaching program. Then the next week, we're going to spend brainstorming our low ticket offers. And by the end of the third week, we want to have some social media all scheduled out. That doesn't mean I just do it that day. That's just when it's due. You can also set it up so it starts at the beginning of the week, and then you'll see it, for the whole week. So it really stays front and center. And as I complete them, I mark them off as done, and we move on through the month and the quarter. my Q1 checkpoint. I translate that into here. What is the checkpoint? I have my low ticket offer launched. I have a coaching program started by the end of the first quarter. My social media plan that I had, I brainstormed, it is implemented and it's running. And my reward, simple mani-pedi day with my bestie. Again, not a major investment for reward. It doesn't have to be a ton of money, but make it something that you have to look forward to, that you're going to schedule for that time, and then make it happen. Then the great part is, so I like to look at this when I'm setting it up. I look at this in the board view. It's really simple, but generally I'm in the calendar view because that's where everything else is going to be. So if we go back to January, where I have all those goals, you see I have them over here on the Fridays. But kids go back to school, right? And they're ending up sick, or you get sick because they brought home some kind of crud over Christmas. Researching the coaching program did not happen. It's just done. You're barely feeling like yourself by the end of the week. So you just drag and drop this to the next Friday. Now, can we get both of these done in this week? Maybe. All right. So you're like, hey, it's Wednesday morning and I figured out what research, which coaching program I want. Mark that as done. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump right into brainstorming some low ticket offers. But I get to Friday, I didn't get it quite done. I got a couple ideas, but I'm not quite there. But I know it's just going to take me a couple more days. So we drag this over to Tuesday. All right. Now, am I going to be able to get all of this done because I lost that whole week? Probably not. I've only got a few of these done. So we're going to drag this down to here. That still gets it done by the end of the month, but I've got the flexibility to just live my life and as life happens, but I've set myself up for success. I really hope this has all been helpful for you to see how to take your big, hairy, audacious goal for the year and break it down into weekly steps that are actually attainable. So, are you ready to conquer your goals one step at a time? Remember, the journey is just important as the destination. Breaking down your goals into monthly and weekly steps, setting the checkpoints, and rewarding yourself along the way all go to create a sustainable path to success. If you're excited to start this journey, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more tips and lots of resources. And don't forget to click the link in the description and right here to get your goal planning workbook. Let's make this year a game changer. Keep planning, stay motivated, and I'll see you next time where we dive into a bookkeeping checklist.